Chille DeCastro cries over low signups for TeamDLZ.com. Will you give him your money? Long Island Audits gets charged with more crimes in Nassau County. Is he just there for the fall leaves? Hendry E-Begs for commissary on DeCastro's program. Did he break the rules by live streaming from jail? Plus, Denver Metro Audits oblivious during his first days in prison. Will he survive his 15-day ordeal? All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Hello, and welcome to the October 24th, 2024 edition of Auditing Insanity. I'm AI Johnny Jones, in for Jim Finch, and we've got a packed episode filled with Chille DeCastro, Hendry, Long Island Audits, Direct E, Denver Metro Audits, and more. Does crime pay? Every person on the list I read, except for Direct E, has been in jail at least once this year, and they've seen record profits from GoFundMe, PayPal, and Cash App donations. They've had their commissary taken care of by their fans for those that were incarcerated longer than overnight. And DeCastro even learned to read books written by a female point of view this year while in the clink. But are they being rewarded for their bad deeds? Will they ever stop doing things to break the law? Will they ever face actual repercussions of their actions? A lot to think about as we ask you to focus on Denver Metro Audits to self-revoke probation. Christopher Direct D. Ruff's 9-hour live stream Wednesday night into Thursday morning saw an appearance by the newly incarcerated auditor Christopher, Denver Metro Audits, Cordova, who was calling in from Colorado's Jefferson County Jail. Cordova explained that because his sentence was only 15 days long, federal authorities declined to put him into the federal system. Instead, Cordova is being housed at the Jefferson County Jail for the duration of his sentence. The incarcerated YouTuber is not expected to get time off for good behavior due to the length of his sentence and complained bitterly that he was never explained the rules of the facility or the times where inmates are allowed to be active. He said for the first 2 days he was unaware of the times he could leave his cell to take a shower or hang out with other inmates. Cordova was also unaware of how much time he had on the phone, as he spent a good 3 to 5 minutes speaking with Ruff with the volume muted on Ruff's live stream before Ruff allowed the rest of the conversation to be heard by his viewers. Alas, that audio lasted for a little over 2 minutes before the automated phone system cut Cordova off. Cordova's second attempt at a call from the jail ended almost immediately as he seemed to be out of prepaid time. Cordova did not get to make a plea for people to send him PayPal or GoFundMe donations, or to put money on his commissary account. Unlike Chille DeCastro's broadcasts, Ruff was ill-prepared to help Cordova and was unable to organize his fans to get Cordova the extra help he'll need while incarcerated. In the brief time he was featured, the YouTuber complained that the judge would not entertain the thought of trading his 15-day sentence and 2 years probation for a 30-day sentence. Cordova made a comment that he would figure out how to revoke his own probation once he was out of jail. He has previously said that he could not continue to audit with the threat of more punishment hanging over his head should he be arrested within the 2-year probationary period. On the GoFundMe front, both Cordova and Hendry's GoFundMe campaigns cratered on Wednesday. With no new advertising for either, fans seem to have given up on the promising campaigns. Our own ongoing expenses campaign won the day with a $40 donation from an anonymous donor. The only other donation of note for Wednesday was a $10 donation for Long Island Audits' Unlawful Arrest and Constitutional Rights campaign. That campaign no longer needs donations as Sean Paul, Long Island Audit, Reyes was found innocent of the charges that sparked the campaign last week. We still need your help. Despite the GoFundMe market being dead, this publication is funded by your donations along with what little we make from our YouTube channel per month. While we did achieve full monetization on YouTube, we still need help to get through monthly expenses and keeping the lights on to bring you the paper and the newscast each day. If you can afford it, please consider donating to the GoFundMe run by this very channel. All donations literally go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing news stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
Hendry E-Begs on DeCastro livestream. Incarcerated YouTuber Craig Hendry made an appearance on Chille DeCastro's Wednesday night livestream from the Vermilion County Jail in Indiana Wednesday night to discuss his current living conditions in the jail. After being greeted by DeCastro, Hendry repeated the now familiar story of how he ended up in the Vermilion County Jail. His bond for harassment charges Vermilion County was revoked last week at a hearing for the charges, as he had picked up new charges in Sullivan County, Indiana. No one has seen the charges out of Sullivan County, except Hendry, who claims he only saw the crimes he was charged with and no details of what he was alleged to have done. The Sullivan County charges are sealed, according to Hendry, and his charges have yet to appear on his public mycase.in.gov page. Unlike Christopher Denver Metro Audits Cordova's appearance on DirectD's livestream, both Hendry and DeCastro were prepared for the appearance, as DeCastro directly solicited Hendry's inmate ID and that the Vermilion County Jail participated in the jail ATM program. When Hendry mentioned that he had not eaten in the 8 days since he entered the facility, DeCastro directed his fans to immediately flood Hendry's jail ATM account with money for his commissary and for his phone. He also suggested sending Hendry gift baskets from the choice of gift baskets available on the site. DeCastro, now an old hand with jail ATM and fundraising for incarcerated auditors, recounted how he has helped other auditors such as Jason Dollarhide, LDOF auditor Jeremiah Payne, and Garrett Press with Ranker Van Net out in the past. Press with Ranker is of note, as DeCastro, who had previously agreed to pay the entire $40,000 for Press with Ranker's legal fees, stated that he paid $8,000 towards those fees, with a friend from the North donating another $5,000. That would leave a balance of $25,000 that DeCastro had signed a contract to pay in full. Ranker and DeCastro notoriously ended their friendship over the summer, as Ranker was found guilty of all charges after following DeCastro's legal advice. He has not been mentioned on DeCastro's live streams since midsummer. DeCastro, stating that he and Hendry were good friends who could talk for hours, promised that he would not forget Hendry and that he would put aside as much money as possible toward Hendry's commissary account, despite being so poor that he couldn't afford to pay attention. It is unclear if Hendry violated jail policies by having his phone conversation with DeCastro live-streamed. DeCastro himself spent time in the hole in the Clark County, Nevada, detention center earlier this year as punishment for having his assistant live stream a call from DeCastro within the jail on his YouTube channel. An email inquiry to the sheriff's office remained unanswered as of press time. DeCastro worried about low Team DLZ signups. Chille DeCastro's TeamDLZ.com might not have had the best launch, after being down for multiple days after DeCastro declared that it was up and running, as the YouTuber took his frustrations with the site to his audience on his Wednesday evening livestream. DeCastro seemed upset about the limited number of subscribers to his site. Unlike his Patreon page, which also recently launched promising most everything the TeamDLZ.com site does, TeamDLZ.com does not offer a free membership tier or examples of what the different membership levels to the site would bring. There's literally no distinction between the membership levels or explanation of perks on the site. While talking directly to DeCastro is mentioned, there's no examples of forums or areas where his members would go to communicate with DeCastro in the free area before visitors are requested to make a payment to go further into the site. More troubling, there's no cookie policy on the site. Users are offered no indication of what the site is tracking or what details the site collects during the sign-up process. The lack of a clear policy, when the site does use cookies, is a violation of the law in some countries. Worse yet, DeCastro has indicated that TeamDLZ.com will be a catch-all site that will essentially replace YouTube, Discord forums, Patreon and other sites DeCastro is active on because it is the only site where he'll have full assurances that the people he's talking to are not catfishing him or using false identification. It is unclear how DeCastro will verify this information or what else he will have access to from the extensive use of cookies on the site. DeCastro seemed more worried about the lack of users on the site than this policy as the live stream progressed. DeCastro promised that he would be adding a $5 base level for users. He then went into a pitch for the site as a place where his fans could hear his uncensored thoughts about events in the world, including the new California mask mandate for some healthcare workers, which would previously be censored by YouTube. The promised $5 membership base level was not available to users of TeamDLZ.com as of press time.
Long Island audit charge in Nassau County, New York. Sean Paul, Long Island audit Reyes, and his attorney Jacob Uriel went live after Reyes was arraigned in Nassau County, New York for charges of criminal contempt in the second degree, criminal trespass in the third degree, and violation of trespass for an incident in September at the Nassau County Traffic Violations Bureau. Reyes, who had pre-titled his live stream that day before the arrest as "You're arresting me again. Big mistake," and featuring a description that read, "Activist unlawfully arrested for the third time. This tyranny needs to stop," had gone to the building as he had a tip-off from a high-level official in the Nassau County Police Force that he would be arrested upon entry to the building. The YouTuber blamed Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder for the arrest and said it was part of a continuing vendetta Ryder had against him for exposing corruption. Reyes had previously demonstrated outside of Ryder's home in Nassau County using a billboard truck he purchased with the sole intent of harassing those he disagreed with. On the day of the arrest, Reyes was told upon entering the Nassau County Traffic Violations Bureau building that the building was closed for the day. Reyes was mostly ignored by security guards, but encountered a police officer who asked what he needed, and Reyes explained that he was there to do a constitutionally protected activity. Reyes argued in this afternoon's statement that he was never told that he had to leave, just that the building was closed for the day. Reyes claimed that the entire incident with police was recorded as he was recording both with his phone and was secretly recording with the camera on his sunglasses after his phone was taken from him. 2 police officers arrested him, and he was initially charged with trespass. However, his charges were changed to the current charges after it was discovered that Reyes had never officially been trespassed from the building. Uriel and Reyes stated that they were 4-0 in cases so far in New York State and would be moving to 5-0 after defeating the charges in front of them. As Reyes loudly pondered writing a book, Uriel pondered writing a wrongful arrest lawsuit on Reyes' behalf. The two seemed confident that they would beat the charges and that his fans would be outraged by the charges when he made copies available to the public later today. This is a breaking news story. And we're back. We're early for recent additions tonight. We're fighting the dreaded YouTube slowdown that seems to hit uploads between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time each night. Uploads that would normally take a handful of minutes go to a half an hour or more as YouTube seems to have hit capacity each night. So as we're still early, we're going to run while we can, and we'll see you on the flip side. Have a great night, everyone.